Hey, Vladimir, any issues getting in today for you? Glenn texted me this morning and said that if he had a real slow start, people didn't get emails. I don't know. No problem for you. Yeah, I got an email an hour ago and it had the link and I tested it and it seemed to work. Um, so bear with me if you don't mind as we hang out and see if we get a few more to join us. Um, I'm just going to test it from one other place. I posted it on the site too. I just want to make sure I put the right link. Yeah, sure enough. Okay. Well, remind me, Vladimir, I was thinking to myself, I want to say you're in New York City. Is that right? Are you in New York? Or remind me where you are. Maybe I'm completely off. Back east somewhere. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Welcome, Craig. Good to see you. Any issues for you? We're kind of trying to see if there's any troubleshooting necessary, or if it's just a nice sunny Friday and people are like, yeah, the market wasn't great, and I'm just gonna go outside. No issues. Okay. Yeah, me either. I just tested both from the email that comes an hour ago and from the post inside the site. So it seems to be working. So it's just a little spring fever. I already played 18 in St. George. Is that, are you, do you live in St. George or are you just like close and there frequently? Live in South Jordan. And you're just, oh gosh, you're a hop, skip, and a jump. A home in St. George. My daughter's boyfriend's down there. She goes down every so often. We used to be down there all the time. Soccer tournaments. Very cool. Very, very cool. My son is a big golfer. We live right on the ranch's course in the Eagle Mountain area, and basically pay for a membership for him to just go golf anytime he wants. He loves it. Mm. Yeah, we'll give it let's give it just, oh, you haven't in 6 years. All right. Well, like because time or injury or desire, and how did it go? I haven't played in so long either. I broke my thumb one time, uh, right where I have my grip, my left thumb, right where I overlap it, and I just never could get comfortable. I should probably try one more time and be like, "Hey, does it feel now?" But anyway, it was interesting. It's been years. I'll pick up the clubs and play the simulator a little bit, or I'll just like grab my irons and ride in the cart with him and drop balls and chip and putt when he gets close. Anyway, well, let's just get going here. I don't want the recording to go too long without us cracking on. So, officially, good afternoon. Welcome to the Options Income Launchpad Weekly Market Wrap. Those of you listening to the recording, we miss you live. We hope you start joining us. It's like a phenomenal way to just talk through. I don't know. Let me ask you this, and maybe not. Craig and Vladimir, are all decisions for the week made, or are you still kind of like I might still close something. I might pare it down. I will sometimes write them right to the last hour as a procrastinator. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna do it. And I'll literally like pause, go to my account, finish it, come back. So if you're like, you get a little more distracted Fridays, that's a reason. Welcome to the weekly market wrap. As always, education illustrated purposes only. Nothing is a recommendation. We're not brokers or advisors, so we don't give advice. Decisions made based on anything seen here should be done at your own risk. Yada yada yada. The usual. We'll analyze the market. We'll revisit posture. Talk about mindset for carrying over the weekend. What to look for next week, and wrap up section 7, analytics, and prepare for the last piece of the loop, which is our trading goals. Craig said how strong the market been. A lot of swings have failed. Trying to do a deep dive. That's a great idea. I would take each one, right, and be like, okay, here's the trade, here's the sector entry, right, and see, was it just like, yeah, I'd be curious to see what you end up with. Let me know if you ever want to. I mean, if you're willing to, I would say bring it to the Tuesday, Thursday. Be like, let's do a post mortem on this and just kind of talk about what happened. Um, if you're willing to, I'm willing to. Okay, so today's market, it is 109 or 309 Eastern. Average volume to as of right now is 47 million, and we're at 36. So we would need 11 million more shares in the last hour. That's kind of a lot to ask for. Last these are hourly? No, that can't be. 9 million, 12, 15. Something seems off here to me. I don't know why. Anyways, okay. The question we're asking is, are we going to get to a above average volume? Because if we do, it's going to be an S. But buy, a buy day, a tie day, and a sell day. Tie goes to the buyers. Even if we get one sell day, my volume is not changing. My volume is still going to be 0.25, even though the new one, and I wonder if, sometimes the Oracle orients itself a little bit too much, I think, to it has a bit of a recency bias. So it might overlook that this volume right here. Let me get this volume right here was clearly a breakout, and it made this move again. And now it's either going to break out or it's going to consolidate. And if it's consolidating, there's a halfway point. That would still be very much a good solid trend. I don't know. Let's be aware, but again, we've been saying there's not going to be a point where if it pulls back, we're all going to be like, oh, I'm shocked. Where did this come from? Right? We're like, oh, yeah. I mean, of course, it's been overbought for a while. It looks like it's finally entering an actual cycle. Now, it could be something like this. And even when this thing broke out, it really didn't have much, but as it stayed overbought, it made a huge move. Now what? Well, maybe it pulls back. Maybe it pulls back. Maybe it pulls back. Any one of those, as long as it, I would probably say I wouldn't like it to go there. I don't want a full retracement. I want a higher low. So even if we see next week a couple of selling days and then it stabilizes, I don't see anything in that would have us concerned very much. Let's go look at the VIX. So for me, I had said I'm going to raise my score on the SPY. Remember that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. This is where we were. And now it's made a higher high and could be making a higher low. And the last low we have is this, theoretically. So even if this happens, it's still going to be gaining strength. I'm going to raise mine probably a quarter of a point. That would put me at a 1.5. Sorry. That would put me at a 1.75. Remember, the Oracle's already at a 2. So I think a 1.75 is pretty valid, pretty accurate. Long-term trend, did we get high enough for a long-term score to improve? No. You can see clearly not. In fact, it would have had to have held at the higher level, closer to blue than red. And clearly it didn't. Now it's barely holding on above. So it's like, yeah, maybe red's going to be right. Maybe it's going to fall back in and we're going to have to live with this for a little while. Now, that would be, if we saw something like that, that could be 2-3 weeks. That's a little more pronounced. And we have to be careful about what this looks like. Something like this. Something like this. We'll see. Okay. Moving on. Volume. Sorry, I was like, where am I? I went out of order on myself, so it confused me. 1 month daily. Yeah, even if we get it, and I actually think we might, the way that the volume keeps kind of rolling in, there's times where you're actually like, oh, I didn't think it was going to get there, and then it does. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Where does it have to get? It's got to get to, it's at 47. So it needs 2.35, 49, about 49 and a half, just under 49 and a half million. So from right now, it still needs another 13 million, 45 minutes left. We'll see. We'll see. Even if it gets it, I'll still be at a 0.25, and this will absolutely still be a validation of that score. Okay. And let's go to the VIX. So here's the deal. You guys get to run the show with me today. What are you in? What trades are you in right now that you're going to carry? What trades did you close? What trades are you still considering? You may close, you may carry, you may combo, skill out, keep some. Let me know, you guys. I'm going to go through the watch list here in just a minute, as usual. I'm in nothing, Greg said. Okay, fair. Are you ready? Or are you still thinking, I want to assess before I jump back in? And Vladimir, feel free to throw any symbols at me that you want. Understood. Understood. Let me ask you this question. How were the size of the losses relative to the intended max loss, or where you wanted to control the loss? Are there some takeaways of saying, hey, you know what? Yeah, I kept my losses, but I can't have 6 in a row, or I can't What would you say is the most debilitating aspect of what happened? Is it market improvement and getting on the wrong side of some trades, just a little bit of a shake? And I'm asking because you seem to be willing to share, and I actually think more people have experienced that. That happens. I've had it happen to me. It's the same very way, right? Where it's like, what's going on? So anyway, if you're willing to throw some answers, let me know. Let's just talk through this though. Uh, work for a few days, then break support. Yeah, yeah. And it's funny because even though the market moves, there's shakiness, and some positions shake a little bit more than others at times. Here's the VIX. So I had kind of said this looks to me as of this day that it's a now confirmed down. And then today happened, and it actually tested higher than this, finished barely higher than yesterday, actually right around the same. Um, and I think the analysis still holds, and this shows we could just sort of shake out of it and keep going, or we could, in fact, test back up. Now, if this happens, I have to decide: do I believe that this was actually a transition that makes me think, whoa, I hope there's not a. I want you to look backwards from here. Back. What do we see happen here? I lost my line. Probably right around this area in here, where it just sort of like first did one of these up, down, and then you're like, whoa. And then it did another one, then another one, and then another one. It's just like, that's what we're concerned about because it is subtle in the beginning. It's not that bad. You're like, oh, it's not that bad. Um, Most success on 0 days to expiration bull put or bear call. Um, so let me ask you this: why not instead of, if they're successful, what's leading to the directional bias of whether it's bull put or bear call? And would you consider bull put and bear call, which then builds a uh, iron condor? Because I'm assuming you're going out of the money, which means you could go equally out of the money on either side. Sometimes an iron condor. Okay, beautiful. All right, very nice. Um, it's a funny thing. I've worked with people before, and I'm like, "Oh, what kind of trader are you?" You know, and they're like, "Oh, they're just, I'm a trend trader. I really like trading the trends." And then we go in and we start to look, and it's like, in their minds, for some reason, they were like, "I think I'm a trend trader," and then it ends up there's something else. And honestly, as you're looking at it, I'm not saying this is what it is. I'm saying be thinking, have I been leaning towards swing, but I actually find that I'm best just in the short term right now, these 0 days to expiration. I can get, have you done any day trading? Directionally, do you find that your directional day trades are similar in result to swing directional trades? Because it's funny, right? Is I have people who are like, I love day trading. They're terrible at it. And they need to swing trade. They think they're swing traders, but they should be trend trading or day trading. They're trend trading, but they should be swing trading, right? And it's like, we want to be open to simply saying, what is my patterns and my results and my tendencies, my you start to make yourself more aware of, how do I feel? Do I feel like it's easy to follow the rules and maintain discipline? Do I feel like I have to force myself to do it? And I find myself breaking the rules. Those are the types of patterns, I think, that lead to the best self discovery of, am I, the right system, the right types of rules, the right um, objective of adherence, where you're like, hey, if I'm following my rules 90% of the time, I'm gonna live with that. That's about where I am. I'm pretty comfortable. 90, maybe 95. There's gonna be times where I know I'm gonna break some rules here or there, as long as it's not getting extreme or too far out that norm. So I hope we have people listen to the recording, because this is a super important piece of finding success. If you ever find that you've been spinning your wheels, it's often like we look for a different set of indicators or a different strategy, but under the same same premise. Where sometimes it's like, let's evaluate the premise and say, where am I doing my best work? Empirically, that's the data coming in. Day trade, I love it, but it's very difficult. XSP, maybe something to consider for helping me, right? And that's what it might be, is you orient yourself with some of those, and then you look to, you're watching it and you're thinking, hey, if I put on an iron condor and it starts to go bullish, I'm going to have to defend that bullish side. If it's moving bullish, your bull put spread is working like a charm. If it's moving bullish, the only concern is if that thing starts to move up. So that might actually be where you're like, you know what, on the first bullish bounce, no concern. I'm going to trade the second bullish bounce directionally. If that directional trade fails, you're more likely to now have the bearish side also succeed if you can keep your loss small, or even you might even have both work, right? And I do think that there's a symbiotic relationship between those, where directional trading actually is somewhat a hedge against movement on iron condors, etc. Where if you say, hey, I took an iron condor, I made money on the bull put, lost money on the bull, or excuse me, lost money on the bear call, but then I also had a directional, call option, zero days to expiration as well, that I ended up making X amount on. And then you put it all together and you're like, yeah, that's profitable on the day. And that's all that matters. Right. So, yeah, interesting to flesh out and just sort of be like, all right, let's play with this a little bit and see. Keep me posted. I mean, this is like, and in fact, it's, same thing to everybody else, because whatever is being said to one person, when we do group, quote unquote, group coaching, what it is one person's willing to share, kind of open up. And that's what's one of the hardest things sometimes. It's like, I don't want to be the one to like put this trade and everyone's going to be like, oh, what the hell is this guy thinking? But nobody thinks that. Nobody thinks that. But we all internalize it, you know. I literally still am like, oh, I have to go justify this trade because it looks so horrible now. Blah, blah. It's so funny, right? But when someone's willing to share, everybody benefits, because this lesson of like, hey, he's right, not the exact, but just the concept of, am I considering, have I pigeonholed myself and all I'm trying to do is squeeze this round peg through the square hole, or am I starting to think about, I'm good at this, and maybe if I apply it here, yeah. Anyway, so I would say thank you for just that willingness to kind of open up, especially on a day when we're light on people. There's a lot to be learned there. That's what I hope Tuesdays and Thursdays are or become. people who come in and are like, hey, Scott, instead of just rattling through the watch list and looking for opportunities, which is great, we all want to do that. Let's talk through some concepts of, you know, you're getting to a point where you're like, hey, I want to really see, you know, where am I going to pull the right levers to find the improvements, right? And how do I identify what they are and have some expectations where I'm like, if I do this, I should be able to make money here, offset this. If this goes wrong, this is working, blah blah blah. Maybe they both work at times. Anyway, yeah, keep me posted. Come back with some ideas and let's talk about it on Tuesday, for sure. All right, let's keep going on to this though. What is the bottom line here? I'm leaning with this still. We tested out here and it held. As much as it's like, oh, the market's nervous about, it's not that nervous. It's at 18. It's not that nervous yet. Still well below and held below these moving averages, which feels more like this. And you can see it tests sometimes and then comes back down, and then it tested but never broke through. And this would be a great trade opportunity right here. And if we have, like, one little pause like this, and then we get that move, I'm going to show you this one. I'm going to prove it right now. I'm going to draw a straight line from right in here. But realistically, actually starting to some extent back here. I think it's kind of a double hitch window where, right? So let's go pull up now to the SPY and verify if that is indeed. And you can see that it looked like it pulled back. And then from that point, what do we get on the SPY? We got movement and overall movement. So in this window, that's where we would say, hey, I should be able to find some trades, put them on, have them survive, put some more on, and have a nice round of trade opportunity come through. Same kind of a thing over here. What are we looking for? Yeah, I think it looks fine, actually. And I'm still thinking that the score for the VIX component of market posture is going to go up 1/4 point. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for participating when you had the opportunity. I'm gonna maybe put out a survey soon. That's like, okay, we've been doing this same schedule for a while. What's beneficial live? What's beneficial recorded? Maybe the Friday session is just simply not helpful, and we need to add a different session somewhere else, or just right. So, I'm going to put that out, just kind of get a sense of what everybody's feeling and thinking, because I definitely don't want to run sessions if we could be doing it better somewhere else. Okay. Let's go to some of our recent trades. Here is SU. Looks great. It did, in fact, make that pull back into the range. Plenty of opportunity to get in. It's moving along the movement of the trajectory, and I would say no reason to close anything. As far as targets on this, we said 70.25, which is right around this old high in this trajectory. I would say a couple of days, we should maybe think for that. 2 or 3 days later, 72.50 looks great, working well. Nice to see on a day of red. We have IBK, or if somebody missed the trade and they left their order in, you would have gotten filled at a good price. And if you got filled down in this area, it would put you back up into profitability. It's fine. It's not great. No one wants to see it pull back 1%. It's an inside day on below average volume, on less volume than yesterday. So the indication there is that the selling pressure minimal. We're not seeing any kind of a escalation in selling pressure at this point. I think this looks fine. I'm not taking any off. I'm taking it through the weekend. What else do we have? The EWZ never filled. This one never filled. It needed to break. It never broke above the right point. So this was an invalidated order. I tried to make that clear. I actually didn't follow up to see. I never saw the alert. I had an alert set, which never popped. So that one didn't happen. I'm trying to think. Is there any other open ones? I don't think so right now. Oh, yes. You could still have a piece of ASX. Um, you can kind of see we hit this 35 and a half, and then we hit it again, and then we hit it again on a little bit lower, on a little bit less volume. I took mine off. So I closed my position in entirety. At this point, I would be careful about what it's doing. Um, and thinking to myself, the next setup is possibly occurring over here. So good trade. Anybody still have a piece of this? I'd be careful. I mean, you can see that the stochastic has clearly rolled over. It definitely hit resistance. We did not quite get all the way to the profit target set, but overall, still valid, still good, still made a nice move. Squoze what we could out of it, in my opinion. And anything you have left, I'd be careful about holding through. So keep me posted on that. And now it's going to go back into the hopper. Back into the hopper for another potential trade. Anyone else that I can think of? Hey, Bob C, good to see you. We're a little light today, as you can see in attendance. So it's an open door policy. If you have a trade you're in that you want to bring up and talk through, throw it out, throw it at me. Otherwise, I'm going to just sort of pop through the normal watch list and let's see what this is doing. Because honestly, what my thought process here is this is a developing into a setup opportunity. So let's go through the list. This Alcoa, a couple of people looked at it. Nothing in particular, had the time to check. Well, we're glad you did. Glad to have you. You got to pop out. Have a great weekend if I don't see you, but good to have you come in and hang out with us. I was looking for this thing to hold, and you'll notice it's all the way back down. If I was in this, I'd be very careful. I do not want that to break support. Right? Absolutely do not want that to break support. We talked actually about spring fever, Stephen D. Glad you could pop in for a little bit as well. Much better to have a couple extra join us for sure. Okay. Yeah, for me, Alcoa is really kind of on the cusp here. Apple overbought. Nothing we can do with it. Archer Daniels made a move. I mean, you can see it broke this and it popped a little bit and then it just stalled out. And now is it wrong? Is it going to come back in and test this? This where it broke is where I would think that's a maybe. I didn't take that initial breakout, so now I think there's a definite possibility for a second trade there. If someone's in it, they may give it the opportunity to have that little bit of hiccup, for sure. Okay, let's see. Okay. Um, AMAT actually still grinding along at this resistance level. This was the trade that salvaged itself, started, stalled, held, recovered, made the initial move looking for. Um, that went through earnings. I don't think anyone's in it anymore. That's why I didn't bring this one up. But at this point, what pulls back? There's another trade waiting for you out here. Let's see. AMD setting up. Plenty of opportunity for this thing to pull in. If it stabilizes and turns, we have opportunity developing there. AMKR. Um, let's see. Oh, can you guys hear me? Test, test. I'm back. Oof. I thought I was back already. My microphone wasn't muted, but my Zoom was muted, and I saw. Oh, okay. There's Craig. Craig, it's not you. It's me. Um, it's I got like a network adapter reset, and then I got muted when I came back in. Can you guys see my screen and hear my voice? Yes. Okay. All right. Let's get back to it. Yeah, that was super weird. I don't know. My computer has spring fever. Amazon still setting up. This looks great. The little gaps like that. People are like, what about the gap? That's a common gap. When we look at gaps, we think about gaps as having multiple types of gaps. There are breakaway gaps. There are runaway. You might be like, what? Breakaway, runaway? This would be a breakaway gap back here. There are no runaway gaps. A runaway gap is an acceleration. Maybe here. Maybe you could say that this did, and then I don't know. But there's a lot of common gaps, which don't really mean much of anything. There's exhaustion gaps. You might see something go up, and then it gaps up like this, and then it gaps back down, and then that's the end right there. Uh, so, am I worried about this as a gap? No, no. I still see this as being um, right in the area where we could stabilize and start to bounce and make the next one of these more pronounced moves. Makes a run for 300, something like that. ASX, as I said, got out, waiting to get back in. AXTI, that was an interesting day today. I'm not sure about that. I was looking for this to pull back a little further, and then it gave that engulfing without much volume. We'll wait and see. BABA's no good. Bank of America is no good. BCS, whole not really great. Baidu pulling back as it gets close to earnings. BTSD or BTSG a little overextended. BW overextended. Citigroup. I'm losing patience. I'm taking the loss. It's just sort of like now I feel like I'm excusing it. Like, oh, it's still in this range. It's just not holding up. It's not doing what it's supposed to do. It's taking too long. Despite the fact that we have an improving market posture, I feel like financials are hitting some headwinds. I got a new financial that's better. I'm going to ride that, close this, not put it at risk. Monday, there you go. There you go. Well done, everyone. Yeah, I mean, look, we want to give it a chance if we can, then be done when it's time to be done. Caterpillar pulling back. CF. It's kind of right in the middle. Cisco, there's nothing we can do but watch and try to be patient with this. CSIQ. This is a maybe for me. We got earnings, gap down, but held today. It's holding. I think it's possible. CSX, no. Delta, still a maybe. Still like a little hiccup, but still holding this new support level. We'll see. Dell, still a maybe for a pre-earnings trade here on this. It's holding on, and if it can turn, I think it could accelerate one more time. Try to make a test at 280 before earnings. Dow pulling back a little. Dow stable. GE moving from pullback to sell off. If you're saying, Scott, this thing broke a consolidation, pulled back, stable, and turned, I'd be like, yes. But as it starts getting back down to here, or even down to here, then I'm thinking that's a no, right? Then I'm thinking this is going to happen. Gold, GM, Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs looks all right. Got a new high. I'd think about that on a pullback. IBKR still looks fine. Intel setting up, looking for it next week. IWM still looks good, still looks valid, just in a consolidation. JCI, oof, that one still looks like it could try to go. We looked at it, didn't take it. So I think there could be a hiccup trade in this. In which case, what I thought might happen here, I might then think happens over here. PJ, good to see you. Glad you could join us for a bit. Lion holding up. Still possibility for a pre-earnings trade. Couple of days left. Momentum, possibly setting up. Lamb Research, possibly setting up. I told you I was going to manifest this to me. It's going to come like this, and then it's going to be like, boop, like this. And I'm going to be like, here we go, everybody. Let's take it. Let's ride it up. When that happens, we will all do it together. Lunar needs to pull back. Meta, bottom, sitting at the bottom, nothing there. Manulife Financial. It's not doing much post earnings. Monster, a little overextended. Marvell, earnings soon, pulling back. Morgan, Microsoft. A lot of this is just sort of flat. Microsoft, or excuse me, Micron just reached 800. It was at 400 a month ago. What does that say to me? It tells me it's a shark frenzy. It tells me to be careful. Be careful. That's the bottom line. Netflix, no, it's downtrending now. Nokia, maybe on a consolidation. Nvidia, maybe on a consolidation. We're starting to see some of these things actually move into what we would say is the consolidation. Does it continue a day or two in the next week? If so, but not much, then we're going to have some good bullish opportunities setting up on our hands, in my opinion. Oracle. You could make the argument. I don't think you need to on a Friday. I think you could wait for this one more day and actually still catch a piece of a Heiken Ashi. You can see it's still momentum candles here. I could still wait for a Monday where I get something that tells me this is happening. I'm getting in around this level, 195 maybe. Stop down here around 189, 6 points. And I would definitely be thinking up here, 224, this old high. 224 is about 28, 29 points. That's a good trade if I'm only risking 6 to 7. Oracle also looks good setting up into next week for a Monday trade. Palantir is down in the bottom. Bob says Monday. Yep. Monday. Riot pulling back. Rocket Lab needs a pullback. Ring. The stochastic is pinching but didn't turn. You have a nice candle. I would still wait, see if it jiggles out a little bit more. Ross Stores possibly setting up. RTX continuing to sell. I got to tell you, I think maybe there was some rumor of conflict coming, and this was buy the rumor, sell the news. I mean, literally, this peaked the day the conflict began, and it's had 20% pullback since that time. Very interesting. Silver, big drop today. SanDisk could be a setup developing in somewhere in here. SanDisk, STX, Seagate, something along those lines. At the end, will I look at Boeing? Sure, absolutely. SPY pulling back. How's the volume? 6 minutes left. 6 minutes left, and you can see we're almost to average. We get a huge swell of volume that keeps trickling in. I think we may get there. STM pulling back, STX pulling back, Tesla pulling. I mean, there's a lot of this stuff that is doing the same stuff. VIAV kind of sideways, Viking cruises now starting to pull back down. The VIX not registering much. You can see VOD gapped right back down again. I think VOD is booted from the list. No need to keep watching it. VSH pulling back. WDC looking good for a setup there as well. Walmart, not quite sure about that one. Earnings coming up soon. There's the lists. I'll go look at Boeing. Anything else we need to look at that we haven't looked at? Let me know. If you have one you want to, we can certainly do that. Oof, I don't know. Boeing is selling off pretty hard. It must have had some news yesterday. You can see that it was a big bearish engulfing on significant volume. Today we went further. We got to this old support level and maybe even through it. We're breaking the 50, breaking the 100. I mean, it looks like the sellers, you can see it's selling, it's at or near the low for the day. So the sellers opened the market today when it gapped down, and they sold all day long, and it's selling and it's closing at the low. Definitely a lot less volume than yesterday, but it does still seem to be above average volume. Thoughts on this? Are you looking for a trade? Are you in a trade looking to get out of a trade? Give me a little context. Either way, if nothing else, we'll wrap up a couple minutes early. I am, in fact, making a note to myself that I want to get a survey out to just sort of visit the days that we're meeting, when and how, how helpful the sessions are. Are you listening to the recordings? Just the logistics, and see what kind of response. Maybe we need to make some changes. Okay, well, it's great to see you guys. Those of you who are here, I appreciate you. Those of you who can't make it but are listening, we miss you. I know you maybe can't make it, and that's the point. We miss you. And hey, maybe we can set up a time that's a better equipped, better suited. We'll look into it. Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend. I'll see you Sunday morning, as always. Happy trading.